Oh, internet. What's up, internet? What's going on? How you doing? It's a crazy Monday. Oh, man. It's a Monday out here in Monday land. Population, this guy, Vicky Toria, and Olivia. We're all having a Monday out here. As you guys noticed, I had to start a little bit late. I got called out on daddy duty. Had some daddy stuff to do. Had to calm my daughter. My daughter was freaking out. I think she had to fart. To be honest with you, she seems to have these little freakouts because she's got a little gas, and then calm her back down, and then an eruption shortly follows. I need some coffee because it's Monday. This guy right here was up a lot last night, changing the old diapers and keeping the baby chill, that kind of stuff. Just doing dad stuff. It's not that interesting. It's not that crazy interesting. It's just new daddy stuff. But love my baby, having a great time with her. Love Victoria, having a great time with her. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not 100% enthusiastic about her having to go back to work, but that's going to happen. That's going to happen at some point, and that's right around the New Year. So got about a month of my lovely spouse being here, and then we're just going to have to figure it out. We're just going to have to figure it out from there, So I think, I guess it would probably be a good time at the beginning of the show to be like, hey, we're probably going to have to be going through some, some slight changes. Some slight changes in the, whatever this channel looks like. I mean, I don't know that there would really be that big of a change for you guys, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be doing the live shows and stuff. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see what happens. We have a lovely au pair. If you all know what an au pair is like a fancy name for a trained babysitter. It's like a professional babysitter, an au pair, classically trained in the fine arts of taking care of babies. So we'll have some of that. But we're going to have to see with the workflow and everything, like how it goes. Like what's that going to look like? Is that going to work? Am I going to be able to do 3 long shows a week? I don't know. I am considering making some slight changes just in the fact of like, I want to get more in depth on answering people's questions. So I think I'm honestly almost considering doing like hour-long edited stuff. And I know that, YouTube's going to hate that. The algorithm, right? No one ever wants to talk about the algorithm. No one ever wants to talk about the AI that rules us, right? But I know that the algorithm wouldn't be super happy with that, but I don't think I care. I just think I want to get like knee deep in answering people's questions, and I always felt like the live stream would 100% be the format for that. And maybe it is and maybe it isn't. I don't know. I'd like to hear you guys' opinion on what you think about it. Like, what's something that you guys would like? Because I know that there are a lot of people that were like, hey, man, they want this on the podcast, so we do upload this on the podcast format now, so people can just kind of download it and listen to it at their leisure. I know that I wanted to get a co-host on here, but that just never panned out. Just never panned out being able to, get another person, to like get another person for to be on the show. It just never worked out. So, and as a lot of fans out there are, like, want the Real Fish Talk to come back, like, I get it. I don't know if that'll ever really be coming back or not. I don't know. Because just between Corey and I, we're both just like too busy to really like make that work. So, I don't know. I don't really have the answers. I have questions. I have ideas, and I have things just kind of rattling around in my head of like what, just like what the future is going to hold. Like, what's it going to be like? What am I going to be doing here project wise? And what do I exactly want to be doing? Right? I do love doing the live stream. I like being able to have a live interaction with you guys. So I don't think I'm ever going to completely walk away from doing the live stream. I think I'm going to keep doing the live stream, but it might just be like a once a week thing. And then, but I'm going to I'm trying to figure out a workflow to be able to do like long format stuff. And, because, right now, if I make like a 5 to 10 minute video that's like, sort of a produced video or whatever, you start to kind of calculate how many hours it takes to make that. And that's just not like an effective workflow as far as like YouTube is concerned, realistically, because, most of the, most of like how YouTube works is they want you to do more. Like everybody wants you to just, constantly upload videos and constantly have new stuff coming out and this and that. That's just the reality of the, the platform, I guess. And so I guess that leads us to the question of like, well, if you're going to make produced videos, how do you increase your workflow? And one of my first things I was thinking about is like, I might build like a new editing computer, and then I'd be able to have like a live streaming computer and all that kind of stuff set up, and be able to just like handle all that stuff from that independent end, and then just be able to record and make a bunch of like long format videos that I can just upload and put them up. Because I realize that's the stuff that I take in myself, is like I take in like 30-minute videos, 40-minute videos. If somebody has like a long format thing, that's normally what I'll have playing while I'm doing some other stuff. So, and realistically, like if somebody has like a 5-minute video about something, I'm like, I don't know. It's probably not going to have a lot of information in it. It's not going to get real in depth. And that's the kind of stuff that I probably will most likely be moving forward on doing, is just starting to do some of that long format stuff and just be like, all right, screw it, that's what I'm going to do. But I have to consider the workflow, with the baby and all that kind of stuff. And if I'm going to do long format stuff, I can't necessarily do a ton of like travel vlog or whatever, like I'm not going to be able to be doing a lot of that stuff, mainly because, we have a baby, and I don't really just want to be out there driving around and getting, like time lapses of the sun coming up, like with Olivia and I out on the point, like trying to get some kind of crazy, time lapse thing or something that takes hours and hours to shoot. And then it's like, oh, that's 5 seconds of the intro of a super long video, so I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out the workflow, and those of you that are around on like Facebook and stuff like that know that I've been just bashing my head against the wall to figure out what computer to build, if I'm going to do that or not. And I think I've got it sorted out in my head. It's just a matter of like, am I going to financially pull the trigger or not to do it? Because I have 3 computers in here right now. That one's going to die soon. I basically was... a stupid way to put it would be like I was running diagnostics. I wasn't really running diagnostics. I was doing stress testing on that computer over there, which is basically that's like my writing slash, web surfing, whatever, multimedia computer. You know what I mean? Just like, I watch Netflix and that kind of stuff on it, and I was running some stress tests on it, and I realized that it's pushing the limit at this point. So I know that at some point in time it's going to break down. And so I was thinking about taking that computer and then this other computer over here and combining those into a little server that I'd be able to just stack hard drives in and then just offload into, just use them as mass storage. And so I think I'm probably going to go that route, and it might be able to speed up the workflow on doing some long format stuff and things like that. Oh man, there are a ton of people here. What is up, everybody? I'm going to say hi. Let me scroll back up here and answer some questions from the chat real quick. Where did we start? Oh, that's where we began. Oh, by the way, shout out to G-Bear, Bentley, and Rumbust for being first to the chat today. You got to be quick on your toes around here, because sometimes I only like set up the stream like 15 minutes before it starts. So if you don't have your notifications, you got to click that notification bell, you guys. Oh my God, you got to karate chop the notification bell. Squad fam, power team, paratroopers, unite. I don't know. Oh, you got to do do you have to do the PewDiePie thing, like talk about the 9-year-olds and stuff? No. But shout out to you guys for being early. I know a lot of you guys have your notifications or whatever turned on. So, and if you watch it later, you watch it later. It's all good. Let's see here. Hey, everyone, and Joel, I can finally see again. Got my eyes dilated this morning, and I'm fine. From Barbara Jackson. Ooh, that's good. I skipped the eye dilation last time. I told him, no, I ain't got time for that because I had to go to work. I didn't have time for the eyes dilation. So the doctor looked at my eyes, and she said they were fine, but I'm supposed to come back to get my eyes dilated, so it's official. I don't know when that's going to happen, but, who knows? And I think Barbara was asking if I did get new glasses. I think I missed that where it was. Yes, Barbara asked, Joel, did you get new glasses? Yes. Actually, as a matter of fact, it turned into a $600 thing because I had to get a new pair of glasses, which was like $300. And then they were like, yeah, it'll be like 3 weeks or whatever before you get them, which is fine. Not a big deal. But I needed some right away because I did ruin my glasses with some chemical. I was working out in the field on a site, and I managed to get, I think I had the chemical on my hands. This is what I'm thinking happened. I'm not 100% sure, but it may have been plumbing related. I don't. I'm not 100% sure, but I do pretty regularly have weird, chemicals around, doing wood treatment or plumbing or whatever, And so I'm sure that I had something on my hand. I took my glasses off and was like, what is that? Right. And I think I got some of it on the interior. And then the next time I went to go like clean my glasses, like whatever debris and stuff that was like sanded on there or whatnot, just annihilated the inside of the lens. And it turns out it's the protective coating that it broke down. So I don't know if you guys know this about glasses or whatnot, but the glass is the lens, and then they put these like coatings on there for like, the UV, not get UV in your eyes. I don't know, and whatnot. So it was just, I could not see out of it, and I had to go to the aquatic experience, and I didn't really want to go to the aquatic experience not being able to see very well out of one eye, right? So I had to go to the next day glasses place where there actually is a dude there that actually like makes the lenses and then puts them into the frames and all that stuff. And that was another $300. Aquaticy saying $300 for glasses. Yeah, it was $300 for glasses twice. So, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. And, but that was right before the aquatic experience. I put it on the credit card and I managed to pay it off. So I don't know. It's, one of those things that just happens in life sometimes. And, and it just kind of sucks. What do we got going on here? Try to catch up with the, like I said, I'm trying to catch up with the chat here before we go to the video and talk about the topic, because people pop in and ask questions right out the gate, which I like that. I never know how to say system. What is it? STTHOM, aquatics. I don't know how to say that. And your avatar is like just too small to read. Oh, can I make it bigger? Well, that doesn't make the avatar bigger, does it? No. Hold on. I might be able to do this. Check this out. Go to channel. What does it stand for? STTHOM. I don't know how to say that. STTHOM. Street thom? I don't know. I don't know how to say that. But I'm not calling you out or nothing. I just wanted to read your question. I don't know who it's from. And now I don't know where the question went because I changed the thing. Man, sometimes navigating the chat can just be funny. Oh, the question was loving the new painting in the back. Yeah, that's actually an old painting, and I swapped that out to that old painting just as a reminder that I need to take my easel down to my new office and just put it down there because it's just in the way, and I got stuff I got to move out of here just to get out of the way of this being the nursery, and just in my dad brain, I just got to I got to have reminders and just let myself that kind of thing. Justin Woody said Friday live stream more focused on questions would be cool. That's what we do on Friday. We do that on Friday already. And he says maybe have an email where people email in questions during the week, then answer some on the Friday live stream. That's what we do. We do that on Friday. Answer the Patreon questions. Oftentimes I get to the email questions. I have an email set up so that people that aren't, or don't want to financially chip in on the Patreon, which I understand, I get that. Patreon is the reason we're able to do this show. Everybody kicking in once a month. Those charges went through just the other day, and I have to admit it helps pay it pays for the internet bill and all that, all the stuff that goes into producing this. And it is because of that. But we also do have the free email that you guys can email joel@darkstararts.com. And I'll get your question. And you know what? Sometimes I miss them. And I realized that I missed a question from a while ago just the other day. So I'm going to do my best to try and figure it out. To never miss one. But I definitely am not perfect and never claim to be perfect. You know what I mean? Simply Beta, fish tanks, yay, new computer. Oh, Simply Beta's here. What's up, Taylor? How you doing? Good to see you. Haven't talked to you since Aquatic Experience. What's happening? Let's see. Jake Hussey is here. He says, I'm out getting new garden tools, electric versus petrol, and why? Line trimmer, hedge trimmer, etc. Hedge trimmer, I would go electric because it's just so rarely do you ever even use a hedge trimmer. And typically hedges, the application for a hedge trimmer is normally close to the building, so running an extension cord is not really a big deal. Line trimmer, always go gas. And by the way, if you guys are, most people in America would say line trimmer, would actually say weed whacker, but so hopefully that kind of explains what I'm talking about. A line trimmer, you're normally going to be going out into places that's way far away. You're going around the perimeter of everything. It's a huge pain in the butt to have an electric one, even on a battery. So the problem with the line trimmers that are on batteries, you have to buy like the $400 batteries if you want them to last any good amount of time. But here's the thing. I would remind people that I would be remiss if I didn't lend you guys a piece of the puzzle. Okay, the piece of the puzzle of being somebody who's a Renaissance man, a handyman, whatever you want to call me, a jack of all trades, a guy who does contracting work and all that kind of stuff. Here's the trick to getting a new weed whacker. go find an old weed whacker extension part, right? Then go to the hard. So, okay, there's the motor part of a line trimmer, and then there's the end part, which you can change. You can change out different accessories for doing different things. You might be able to get a line trimmer that has a hedge trimmer attachment on it, but that's a different story. I just want to tell you guys how to get a good deal. So go find the end, just the end part somewhere. Garage sale, something like that. Maybe you got an old one around. Go to the hardware store and say you want to replace this part. Like this part is broken and you want to replace it. More often than not, they will scramble around and not have the part. If they happen to do have the part, just be like, oh, never mind, my wife called, I got to go. But they won't have the part, and when they don't have it in, then you go, okay, I guess I got to buy a new one, right? Just remember, those stores all have the ability to mark stuff down. So when it comes to things like weed whackers and things like that, that's not really where they make their money. They want you to buy the unit because you're going to buy all the peripheral stuff that goes with it, right? So you're going to buy line and other parts and all that kind of stuff. That's where they really make their money. It's like restaurants think, you know, when you go to a restaurant, you think the restaurant's making money off the steak, right? Selling you the steak. Nah, they're making money off selling you pop and drinks and stuff like that. So, same kind of deal. So, but try to work that angle of like, look, I just want to fix the one that I got already, and then you could probably get a screaming deal when you're like, well, I didn't want to come down here and spend all this dough on a brand new whole thing. I just want to fix my old one. And it's a good way to save money because they're not even really trying to make money off it anyhow. They just have it marked up, and always the department manager guy can mark it down. Whether it's Lowe's or Home Depot or Ace or any of those places, it doesn't matter where you go. They can always mark them down. It's like when you buy a car, they want you to buy the new tires, they want you to buy the undercoating, and they want you to buy all the accessories, as that's where the car salesmen make their money. Wesley says, I got into fish keeping because my baby girl, she's now turning 2 this month, and she loves my fish tanks. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think realistically, when I got back into fish tanks, it's not because I had a kid, but I've heard this from a lot of people. Like, I've heard a lot of people the same thing. I was between jobs, so like I had like a 4-month break where I didn't I got hired on for a new job, but I like quit my other job, and like so I was on unemployment for like 4 or 6 months or something crazy like that. During that time, I was like, I need some more hobbies, and I was like, I'm gonna get back into fish tanks, like because my buddy Sean had showed me the basically the Wallstad method. He'd showed me that. He was like, man, you could use plants as your filtration. Like, this is crazy. And I'll admit, I was hooked back into it. And I've been back into it ever since. I don't know. That was I don't know when that was. 2006? 2005? I couldn't tell you. I'm terrible with timelines, right? Let me check. Just trying to catch up with the chat. If I missed your guys' question or something like that, I'm sorry. I'm just going to scroll back down here to the bottom. Devin Peppers, I emailed you a question. And 2, hey, everyone, what plants would you advise for a 10-gallon shrimp tank? I'm using EcoComplete and either a Nano Finex 24/7 or a Fluval 3.0 Nano. So what plant? What plant for a 10-gallon shrimp tank? With that equipment, you're really not limited to anything. So the recommendation I give to everybody is find local plants. Find plants that people are growing locally. And that will be part of the video today as I'll be showing you a local plant I got here and what I'm having to do with it now that I've had it and it's established in the tank, to show you that. So I would find local plants. That's the first thing I would do. Or if I was going to be doing a specific shrimp tank thing, I would, a specific shrimp tank thing that I would find out what plants are, local, to the shrimps, biotope, right? So whatever shrimp you're going to be doing, you'd want to find plants that are from that biotope and go that route, if that's what you're going to do. Paul Martin says, do you have a string trimmer I can borrow? Yeah, I do. It's in Tacoma. Come borrow it. Come borrow it for a slight fee. I'll just, you just have to give me your license. I'll hold on to your license while you borrow my string trimmer. Because I'm crazy. Let me see. Raltz is asking, what is green water and what are the benefits and how can I make/get it? Green water is essentially a floating algae. It's an algae that's free floating is basically what you got when you got green water. So combating green water is similar to battling other types of algae. You just need to balance the tank and go that route. If you're trying to make green water, I love making green water. It's wildly beneficial for growing infusoria and stuff like that, like Daphnia cultures, any kind of small little critters that you're basically going to be using for fish food and stuff like that, for fry food. It's wildly beneficial, or if you're going to be doing some really high-end goldfish, you're going to need green water. How do you achieve green water? Tons of light, tons of nutrients. The easiest way that I have always been able to make green water is utilizing the power of the sun. Everybody has the sun, and it is the most effective. So I would find some spot where you can get like afternoon sun, and it just blow straight in there, unobstructed. And over time, you will get green water as long as you have enough nutrients in the water column. And I'm just spitballing here that if you wanted to a really easy, simple way to do that would be honestly to just go with Easy Green and basically overdose it. And let me see if I can't find the link. No, hold on. This is going to take just a second, you guys, while I get the link. Aquarium Coop Easy. This keyboard sucks. Boink. There we go. All right, let me get you a link for this, and I will also do something else for you guys. So there we go. Copy, and I want to hold on. I have to make the link smaller. You know what I mean, guys? So I can't just click a straight link. Otherwise, the old internet, the old YouTube gets super mad because they're like, don't send anybody to an outside website. But so there's the link right there. Now, I know some people have been a little concerned with me recently, is saying that Easy Green, they're like, well, there's other fertilizers that are better, blah, 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 blah. I get it. I understand. Some people like it, some people don't. That's fine. I prefer it, not only because I know what's exactly in it, which I also know some of the secrets, but I know exactly what's in it. I know what the expectation of the product is, and I also respect the company that makes it and the company that produces it. All the people involved are awesome. So that stuff aside, I would say something that I worked out for you guys with Corey from Aquarium Co-op is a one-time 10% off code, okay? Now, I will tell you all this, and there it is in the chat right there. Now, that's 10% off anything, but here's the caveat. It's only a one-time use, and you can't use it with other stuff. So, personally, maybe you were like, hey, I don't want to get Easy Green or whatever, or this or that or the other thing. I would get the really big bottle. I would stack it, and I would use the 10% off code. That's what I would do, because that's exactly something that I do on the regular basis. Like, I waited. So as you guys know, I quit smoking a while ago. I've been doing the vape thing. Like a perfect example is I waited for Black Friday, and I stocked up on that stuff. And because I'm all about waiting for sales too. And if I can get a code or something like that, I'm all for it. I utilize that stuff all the time, because if I can get 10 or 20% off stuff that I for sure use, then I don't know. I think it's a good deal. You guys can use it if you like. If you don't want it, you don't have to. It does work. It does work with lights, the CO2 equipment, any of that kind of stuff. But it's only one time, so stack your shopping cart full and get a good deal before the end of the year, because prices are going to go up everywhere, by the way. It's not just like Aquarium Co-op. Like, it's not just Corey's like, I'm raising the prices. The prices are going up everywhere because of tariffs. It's an international thing. There's nothing we can do about it. Federal government doing goofy stuff. So, yeah. But so hopefully that'll help out with that. But that's how you can make green water. You just overdose and put a ton of light in there. Just go crazy. Let's see. Oh, Steve's got way too many gallons of it. What has he got? Too many gallons of what? Let me see. Let me check the chat here. Oh, yeah. Quadacy says, very true. We haggle on prices like that all the time. Yep. 100%. Like, that's back to the warehouse stuff. Like, if you're buying something from any place, like, remember that the price, you could argue the price. If you're at like Best Buy or something like that, you're gonna have to find somebody higher up the food chain than the guy who's just working the floor, or the gal who's working the floor. But you really are gonna have to go up the food chain. But you can argue the prices there too. A good buddy of mine, we went into Best Buy, and I thought he was crazy. I thought he was out of his mind. But he was like, oh, I need to talk to the manager. So the manager comes in. The manager comes over, and he's like, I want to buy this stereo. This price is ridiculous. I'm paraphrasing here, but the conversation was longer than that. But he basically was like, the price is ridiculous. I want a lower price. And the guy was like, well, I can knock some off for you. And so they did. And then he bought the floor model and got an extra 10% off for buying the floor model. The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but I don't know. The guy was like some kind of wizard and figured it out. Okay. Let's see. Barbara Jackson says, I use the code to get a larger jar of erythromycin. A price may go up and or it could get banned. Girl Scout preparedness. Ooh, that is a smart idea. That's definitely a good idea. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about anything getting banned. Because I've heard a lot of people talking about certain things are going to get banned, or may or may not, like medications and stuff like that. Like, you'll have to go to a veterinarian for certain things or whatnot. Like, I know that like the flea meds we got for the dogs, like you have to go to the vet because it's like a chewable, and I don't know. It's like you have to get a prescription for the chewable flea meds. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Tropica potted plants are here on the East Coast. We'll have to see how they stack up to Corey's. That's from Jackson. Yeah, Tropica has a new greenhouse up in Vancouver, Canada. So there are Tropica plants coming in to the U.S. Directly from Canada now, as opposed to coming from overseas. I like Tropica. I think they're awesome. I just don't know about the prices or the availability. That seems to be the biggest problem with the tissue culture stuff. The prices are either super high or they're just not available. Those seem to be the two biggest problems. I know that when I spoke to the guy, and I don't want to say exactly who it was, but it was like one of the high ups at Tropica. He wanted Corey and I to come out to the greenhouses and do some filming out there and stuff. And like during that conversation, he was basically like, "Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff you're not going to be able to film because we don't allow filming of much of anything." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I don't know if I'm going to fight my way to get into Canada." Because I'm pretty sure it's still illegal for me to go to Canada, but I was basically going to go through that process of like, let me see if I can get let in to go film up there. But then they're like, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that you can't film. So I was like, well, what's the point of me coming up there to film if I can't film anything? Like, like it's stupid. You just want me to come look at your greenhouse and be like, I'm going to tell everybody about how cool it was to look at it. But one of my biggest problems has been the pricing. You know, I'm willing to spend more money for a product that helps me out. You know what I mean? Like, this is an insanely expensive microphone. You know, like I'm not afraid of just blowing money because if it's something that's like important, if it's something that I need, you know, obviously I'm a thrifty guy. Like I bought extra RAM because I know that in the future I'm going to be building a computer, and I haven't seen RAM at the price that it was at. So this is basically 16 gigs I got for $99. I haven't seen it that low in years now. So I ordered those because I knew I was going to be building a computer at one point. And so, yes, I do take advantage of good deals and sales and stuff like that. But it's hot in here. I'm also not afraid to buy something that's a real quality product that I need. And, you know, as far as the tissue culture plants, I think that they're great, but they're really expensive. And they're not they're not converted to underwater growth, you know, like the little cups that they come in, there's air in there. You know what I mean? They're not 100% ready to grow in your fish tank. Yes, they will convert, and that's some of the stuff that we'll actually be talking about in the video here in just a second. Skog says, Benjamin, the tariffs are on a 90-day hold. No, the tariffs are already in effect. They're already being charged. If you're reading stuff on the news, people are already being charged for them. So unless refunds are coming, then it doesn't matter because the tariffs have already been in place. They're going to raise the tariffs even more. So, yes, there's a 90-day hold on them or whatever, but that's not, yeah, it's nonsense. They're already charging tariffs. So, Aquatis says, I'm a penny pincher for many things, but I know you that you often get what you pay for. Yeah, I've gone super cheap on some dumb stuff and had to order the expensive one to replace the crappy one. I've definitely been down that road. Banned from Canada via portable sovereign soil. What's banned from Canada? Oh, yeah, I'm banned from Canada the last time I checked, but I was going through the process of being verified that it would be okay so I could get into Canada. But then I was like, never mind. Now I don't care because there's really no reason for me to go to Canada. Let's see. Let's see. All right. I'm just like reading and making noises with my mouth. So that's super boring. All right. Well, let's get rolling. Okay. Well, either way, let's move on to the video portion of the show because I saw some people asking questions. Okay. So what the video is about today, I wanted to illustrate and show you guys the differences between the plants that I have here, and I'm going to pause the video for a second so I can turn on the whiteboard because I want to, I'm going to scribble on here. I wish I had like a light pen or something that I could actually, it's hard to draw with a mouse. Let's clear that. Okay, so this plant, believe it or not, right here, right, is exactly the same as these little plants down here. And you can see the differences in time. And how do I, okay, we're going to go like that. I'm going to hit play. So you can see the differences of the exact same plant growing under different conditions. Now, the guy that I got these plants from, he essentially was just pumping tons of light in there, tons of CO2. He just had these little farm tanks. And so they're pretty shallow, stuff like that. And, you know, he's dosing a ton of iron and doing a few other things. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But moving them from there to here, it's the same plant, but it's going to grow differently in my tanks versus his tanks. Finally, after, you know, however long it's been, maybe, hold on, you know what I'm going to have to do? Oh, I don't have my notes on this computer. Hold on, I got my notes on my cell phone. I'll be able to tell you how long it's been since I got them. Where's my little notepad? There it is. Yeah. July 9th, I think. So yeah, we're about 5-6 months later, something like that. So one of the big things is I had to completely convert these to growing in my aquarium versus the other aquarium. And I haven't been like going super aggressive about it or anything like that. But I've just kind of been going slow about this because this is my shrimp tank and I'm not super stressed out about trying to farm plants. So if I was trying to farm plants, I could speed up this process to probably about a month, something like that. But I'm just pretty much taking it easy on the, more or less just taking it easy on dealing with the conversion, essentially. I don't know why I got the whiteboard still on. There we go. Okay. Thanks, Dan. Donnie Darko on the whiteboard. I could really speed up the process of this, but like I said, I'm pretty chill with this tank because this is my shrimp tank, and I kind of just let it do its thing. I could really speed it up if I was like, you know, if I was dosing a ton of fertilizers, you know, in a shallow farm tank, which I will be setting up a shallow farm tank at some point. I don't know when that is exactly going to be, but I have acquired it. I got it from a friend of mine a while ago. And so I got it for free from a buddy of mine that just didn't want it anymore. And at some point in time, I'll set up a farm tank and show you guys how to do that. But for right now, I basically just wanted to let you guys know. Hold on. What is going on? I can't remember off the top of my head. What's my phone doing? I'm just like trying to look at my notes here, and the stupid thing is like freaking out. So that's the Limnophilia aromatica mini. Growing a little bit weird in his tank, but it's growing a little less mini in my tank. And like I said, I could have sped up this process and made it super fast. But I just wanted to show you guys the differences in his tank grown plants versus my tank grown plants. And it's just the fact that they're growing differently in different environments. And that kind of ties into the people that were asking earlier about the plants melting off. So when plants melt off, don't be that stressed out about it unless it just completely disappears, you know. But if the roots and rhizome and stuff like that are still there, then it's not going to be that big of a deal. Most plants will have a melt off stage at some point in time when they're trying to adapt to. They're essentially going to be adapting to the new growing environment, and that's what that Aromatica went through as it came from that tank into my tank. It needed to basically transition and start growing the other way. You can see it's much greener. The underside of the leaves are much redder, and as it gets closer and closer to the light, it'll become red like the previous version was that I had, which is all fine and dandy. It's not that big of a deal. This is a much deeper tank than the tank that they came from, so that's going to be the big thing. The leaves are growing a lot healthier and wider than they were before, whereas they were growing quite thin. They were quite thinned out, and more often than not, you'll see that because of the really intense light. Typically, when plants have really, really intense light, they will grow a little bit thinner, a little bit smaller, a little bit finer if it is a plant that basically has the ability to do that. They'll kind of just adapt to the fact that they don't need as much surface area. Now, not all plants will do that, but a lot of them will if they're getting just a ton of lights or a ton of light on them. Let's see here. Try to catch up with the chat. Dan says, I think it may be time for everyone to click the like button. That's a thing like I'm apparently supposed to say. I don't know. Let me see. Devin Peppers, where do you get seeds for Glosso? Don't buy seeds for Glosso. It's a scam. Glossostigma elantoides. Don't buy seeds for aquarium plants. It's a huge scam. It's a monumental scam. If people are selling seeds for aquarium plants, don't buy them. Buy seeds for your chia, buy seeds for your tomatoes, buy seeds for terrestrial plants and stuff like that. But don't buy seeds for aquarium plants. Let me see. Recommend a Glosso carpet to me last week. How would you recommend getting started with seeds, or what? And where would you recommend getting them from? And what type of Glosso? Glossostigma elantoides. I don't know. Let me see if I can link that in here. Elantinoids. I know. I always say it wrong. Let's see. I wonder who sells it. Let's see who sells it. Apparently Tropica sells it, so maybe you'll be able to get it from Tropica. Oh my god, it's from New Zealand? Gillett should be like the best guy at growing this. I didn't realize that was actually a plant from New Zealand. As much in the demand in Japanese-inspired aquariums is one of the smallest aquarium plants. Burp, burp, burp. Yeah, so Tropica has it. I have no idea who those people are, so I won't recommend that. Oh my gosh, somebody's got it on Amazon. Oh, currently unavailable. I think. Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe the co-op has it. Maybe they don't. I don't know. I've seen it there, so I don't know. But maybe he only sells it in store. I don't trust this. $3.89. How would it be? How would it be $3? Huh. Good reviews, but the last good review, 2012. That's not great. Yeah, I don't know. I'd find Glosso, but always go local. I'm always trying to remind people, like, find your local clubs, find your local people that are growing plants, and get them. You know what I mean? Like, get them. Get them from your local people. Always find local people. Craigslist, Facebook, local club. You know, make some contacts with people and find local plants that are going to be adapted to where you are. It's going to be the best way to go about it. You're going to be able to, you know, support somebody else who's growing plants and you're going to build some of your community. So that's going to be the whole thing. Let's see. I look awfully smurfy today. I always look hick smurfy, you guys. The sun hasn't been out in months. I live in the deep, dark north. I haven't got my tan on in a while. Oh. Let's see. Daniel keeping fish. It's midnight. Better go. We spent $30 on some Crypt Albida red tissue cultures. They melted all the way back. Hopefully they grow again someday, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Ooh, natural aquariums. That's kind of rough. Very common with crypts. Like crypts will almost always melt back. Like I've heard a lot of people, they even have their crypts melt back when they move them in the same tank from like one side of the tank to the other. I don't get that very often personally with moving crypts in my aquariums, but so many people have reported it, and I think this happened to me once or twice, but it just really not very often. Boost plant. A fling a pile of poos. I think Boost Plant has glasso tissue culture. Probably. It might be a good spot. T. Riddle says, my area of almost 2 million people have no fish clubs. It's unbelievable. I really doubt that. I really doubt where there's 2 million people, there's no fish club whatsoever. There might be an online fish club. Facebook, as much as I hate Facebook, it is a great resource for being able to find local clubs near you, or even just an online club. So, like, let me see here. Where's like one of the local ones? So there's like, I don't know. I want to see if it's like public, like if anybody could find it. Oh, this is a closed group. Okay. So as you guys know, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so it probably wouldn't be very difficult to find the Pacific Northwest Aquarium group, right? So there are a bunch of like Facebook groups that might be the way to go, because you could probably make some connections with people. Like, what's Corey's Facebook group? I don't know. Gosh, I'm probably banned from it, I would guess. I've been banned from a lot of things recently. I don't know. I think I pissed people off. Well, I've got pending invites. Oh, I'm going to join Joe's Shrimp Shack. There we go. Let's see. What groups am I in? So, like, I have a group called Dark Star Aquatics. It's just a small group of people that we, they're just like from the show and stuff like that. Aquarium group support. Okay, that's Corey's. So I could probably talk about that one. Aquarium group support, I don't know, let me see. Let me look at this. How many people are in this? I think Joel Gillett's a moderator on there. Yep, he's pinned at the top. How many people are in this? Give me more information. I don't know. 11,000 members or something like that. So, I don't know. I think that realistically would be an option for most people to at least contact some locals. Like, find some local online groups, like on Facebook, and then just be like, dude, I don't know. I'm looking for a plant. Who has some plants? And you'll be able to find some people. Out of 2 million people, I don't know. T. Riddle, what city are you in? Because you're saying that I looked into forums, Facebook, Instagram, etc., and you can't find one. So I would wonder, like, what part of the world are you in? Let us know. We can figure it out. Maybe you're in like Ohio or something, and I don't know. I don't know where you are. So, all right, let's get back to the show here a little bit. Zeno Luft, my brown Wendetii crypts are turning slowly into a nice brown with some darker tiger stripes on the leaves. Perfect. That is exactly what you want. That is exactly what you want with the Wendetii brown. You want them to do that. Let's see. Let me see here. Let me see. How do I find hobbyists near me? Ooh, yeah, Facebook is probably going to be one of the best ways to go about it, honestly. And there's like a search for groups that's like geographically close to you. So what is this? Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. So you can find ones that are like geographically close to you and just go that route. Let's see. Ohio has the fish clubs. Palmer says he's in Area 51. They won't let him leave. Well, you know, I would remind people that, you know, Luke Up and Corey and Jimmy and I were we were right near Area 51. There was a fish club there for a couple minutes. Let's see. Eric Polanco rescuing a beat-up Java fern, lots of yellow. I can almost probably see through the leaves. Will it survive using EcoComplete, Full Stratum Mix, dosing CO2, Easy Green, Root Tabs, Full 3. 11 hours of lights is too much for a Java fern, unless it's out of the light. Honestly, 8 hours is about the most that Java fern can handle. Java fern's a plant that doesn't want to be in a ton of light, so that setup is fine. Everything's fine there. I would just tone the lights down because Java fern is a shade plant, so doesn't want to be in the doesn't want to be in that bright light. Where did I lost my chat window, guys. Hold on a second here. That guy 0811, Joel, have you ever kept Hygrophila guanensis? And if so, what are your recommendations for keeping it? I've seen a lot of conflicting information. Yeah, I had some Hygrophila guanensis a long time ago. Not a difficult plant at all. A little bit of light. You know, a little bit of light goes a long way with the bright greens, the bright greenery. But I never found it to be like all that difficult of a plant. You will have to trim the tops and replant and pull the roots out, though. That's the best way to replant and propagate it. Other than that, it really not all that difficult of a plant. But you know, what my advice? Liquid fert's probably the best for it, and a little bit of light goes a long way with that one, and propagation. Yeah, so that's what I would do. Benjamin P. Palmer Aquatics with the $5 super chat. He's a starstruck fanboy here. Will you sign my man breast? Man breast, sure. Why not? Wicked Tanks says fish family. Let's see. Try to catch up here. Mike Clumber says, which plants have you had the most difficulty with, and how did you finally succeed growing it? Plants I have the most difficult with, for whatever reason, the most difficulty I have with it is Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is, I'm not bad at growing it. It's my Achilles heel, though. Honestly, and I think I've mentioned this quite a few times before. A Monte Carlo is the one plant that is just, it's a monumental pain in my butt, and I just can't get it. I can either get it to not grow right, or it gets just completely packed with algae. It's just a disaster. I don't know, for me personally. And have I ever rectified it? I could grow it terrestrially, so immersed above the water line, and that works fine. So having visited Tom Barr earlier this year, I think I'm going to do some above ground Iwagumi things next year over the summer, and grow some Monte Carlo that way, and then go that route. Jackson K is Anubius fraseri a true Anubius? Still have same likes dislikes as more common varieties. Anubius fraseri is, I think, not a true Anubius. I think it's the top of the I think it's the top of the runners from a bigger plant, but don't necessarily quote me on that. I could be wrong, but that's the thing that popped into my head when I read that. But I don't have further information. It's been a long time since I did Frasera. I got a gigantic order of it. I think in like 2009 or something like that. I ordered. I forget who I ordered from, but I ordered the Frasera from somewhere. Maybe Aquarium Plants. Something like that. It was somewhere in Iowa, but I ordered all their Fraseri. Basically, I was just like, here's $100. Just send me a bunch, and they were just like, oh, cool. We'll just send all of it to you. So I had a ton of that stuff for a long, long time. It works way better as an emergent plant. It has this crazy kind of like little stalk on the bottom of it, and it is a little bit of a weird one. I would say I had about an 80% success rate with utilizing them above the water line, and maybe the converse of that below, fully submerged. So maybe only like 20% did great submerged. And so, that is the thing that popped into my head. But so that's my experience, but I might be wrong about whether or not it's actually runners off a different plant. But I've heard that from people. Any trick to keeping Hygrophila Aquarium bosa alive and healthy? Does it require a lot of light? I've bought it twice and dropped all its leaves each time. Aquarium bosa, I think, is I think realistically is something to do with trying to think what's the stop. It's off. It's like right on the tip of my tongue. It's right on the front of my dad brain. Something. What is it? I think it's magnesium. Is that right? No. Something on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember what my advice was for Corimbosa. If I was Bill Gates, I'd have them Kessels. Yeah, I mean, Kessels are good and all. I like the Kessel guys. I like the Kessel lights, but it's just, I'd have to have like 400 of them in my fish room, and they're way more expensive. Aquaticy, I'll think about it. I can't remember what it was. Let me see if I can. It's pretty much just gonna throw the show off the tracks, because I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not gonna be able to live with myself. I'm a. Okay. All right, I Google searched it because I'm trying to remember what it is. It's a low demanding plant, but I'm trying to remember what it is. Is it it's manganese and potassium. Manganese. So you might have to dose a little bit different for it specifically for that plant. That's what was popping into my head. It was manganese, but I was saying magnesium. Slightly different. Magnesium would probably catch the tank on fire. So I would, potassium and that, and you got to trim that one a ton. You have to trim it a ton. Do not let it get above the water. Do not let it get above. Otherwise, it will start growing all sorts of differently and be a monumental waste of your time. Or get it in and only grow it above the water. So you can grow it like pothos, basically. You could like stick it in your filter, and it grows really cool above the water, but it looks more like mint leaves above water, and then below water, I think personally it looks cooler because it has a much skinnier leaves. But if you're, just a personal thing, if you want to go that route, but it's it will chew through the manganese and potassium quite rapidly. So you could probably end up seeing potassium deficiency from your other plants once that starts to really take off. Let's see. Scared of the plants I received. I'm scared of the plants I received from the co-op today. They look so good. I know I'm going to jack them up. I feel almost sorry for them. Don't worry about that. Grow them plants and just keep rocking and rolling. Because here's the great thing about plants. Like, you could have them even like how in this video here, how they're looking fairly disaster. You trim them, keep them going, keep them growing, keep them propagating, and you can completely convert them into a much nicer looking plant over time. It's just, you just keep working at it. You have a garden that you're able to work in, 12 months out of the year. You're able to work in your garden the whole entire year instead of like for me right now, there just ain't nothing growing in our garden. And the next garden video will be coming out fairly soon. And I say fairly soon, like weeks from now. But how we're turning down and closing down the garden and the chickening part 2 or part 1 or whatever. Part 1 and part 2 will probably come out. Because I think I found the footage from the chickening. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if we have editing time in order to do all of the chickening nonsense. We might just do another garden vlog and let you guys know what's going on over the winter out there, what we're propagating, what's our plan. Because I would say that my lemongrass is quite interesting right now, and I did catch another rat last night, so I feel like things are headed in the right direction for next year's garden action because there was a rat that was out there that was getting into stuff, and no longer. Let's see. Ultimate Fish Keeping says, hi, how are you? How are the new aquariums coming on? Sorry, I've missed out on the amounts of live streams. I'm doing good. Doing good. It is becoming very difficult for me to read the screen right now. A lot of fun. Is it camera 1 or camera 2? Uh-oh. Yeah. Probably going to have a migraine coming on here fairly soon. All the lights and stuff are triggering that, and all the reading and talking, which is going to be good. Let's see here. All right, guys. Well, I just, hopefully this video was helpful. I don't know. I feel like I was shooting a video, and then I was going to have like a million things to talk about on it. So maybe I'll just focus on talking about that for a minute. So multiple plants in this tank. As you guys can tell, this tank is just complete collectoritis. And one of the things you have to do when you're propagating, the plants and kind of adapting them to a new system and stuff, is that you do have to figure out spacing and whatnot. So you guys saw me pull out a bunch of crypts and stuff like that, just kind of yanked them out of the substrate, because I do need to kind of push the boundaries a little bit to allow for some of these plants to propagate and live happily ever after. I did pull some Bacopa out that's behind here, and I'm actually going to be transferring that into another tank, mainly because that's the only spot I have this strain of Bacopa, and I do want to propagate it in another system, barring some kind of accident. I mean, you just never know. You never know what really is going to happen or not. You know, sometimes things happen with a disaster tank, and I do like to propagate specific plants that I know aren't that available. And this would be one of them, this Limnophylla, however you say it. I don't know. I'm not Latin. I am going to be propagating that in another tank and some of the Bacopa, along with the Erectus that's back here. People have been asking me a lot about, I got to clear the whiteboard there. So this spiky plant back here, people have been asking a lot about that. Believe it or not, it is a cousin of this plant right here. So the Pogostemon salatus, this is the Pogostemon erectus. So that's the ST, and this is the ER, I guess. That's just how we'll have to do that for right now. Those are just distant cousins. They're fairly close varietally, and you can see that they do grow quite differently. And that's you know, you can be like, man, that's a dog. You know, one's a Chihuahua and the other one's a Pit Bull. You're like, well, they're both dogs, you know. But those are even closer because it would be like two different kind of crazy types of coyotes or something. So people have been asking about that, and they're growing quite well. But I definitely have to clear out some space and make room and propagate into other tanks. So that's a lot of what I'm actually doing in this video here, is pulling some propagation plants that I can drop into sumps and stuff like that and get them to propagate into some of the other systems and, you know, be able to pass them on to people like Bentley. I'm not necessarily giving these plants to Bentley, but Bentley would be a perfect example of somebody that I would be like, oh, hey, do you have this? No? Okay, I'll trade you that. What do you got that I don't have? So even locally, and somebody like me that's personally, I work very closely with the Aquarium Co-op, and I don't even necessarily, I don't like have to buy plants or anything like that. I get plants from Dennerley, I get plants from Aquarium Co-op. I have like availability to go into warehouses and find specific stuff that I actually want. I still trade with the local people when I can, because not only is that building a community, it's also like spreading around some of the plants that, you know, we want to propagate. We want to propagate them and have them around so that other people can enjoy them. It really is, you know, when you get down to it, that is the real important thing for me. And just to remind people that, like, that's almost the best part of the hobby, is like being able to hang out and have some conversations with people and trade stuff and actually propagate the beautiful plants that we want, and fish and shrimp and all that kind of stuff too. That all counts also. It's like, you know, I got to go over and you know, hang out with Alyssa for 15 minutes while I got some snails from her. Like, was that last week? Yeah, it was like a little over a week ago. And, you know, I'm going to trade her back some fish and probably just drop off some plants with her at some point, you know, if she's looking for something. And, you know, we're just building our little community and stuff like that. And I think that's amazing, you know, and the power of the internet allows us to be able to do that. So, you know, anybody in the chat that's been asking, they're looking for specific plants and stuff like that, just, you know, pop onto Facebook, find those groups or something like that. You know, Patreon, the Patreon page, that's one of the reasons I even started the Patreon page in the first place was, well, I mean, first of all, I used to have a free website that everybody could go to, and but it was costing me a lot of money to have a website that was up and running. To be honest with you, you know, I ran it for as long as I could. I think we had it up for about 4 years or 5 years or something like that. And I think we had something like 500 or 1,000 kind of active users, but it was one of those things. It was costing me like, I think it was costing me $129 a month or something like that at the time. And I know there's going to be people who are like, there's cheaper ways to do it. Okay, I get it. I'm just saying what it was charging me at the time. And I was like, I just can't afford to pay for this anymore. And I really didn't want to put ads on it. And you guys know that I hate having ads. I hate having ads on stuff. There's just really nothing I can do about it on YouTube, because YouTube will just throw us straight into oblivion if we don't run ads. There's just nothing I can do about it. I turned all of them off that I could, but there's still going to be some on there, just because they'll throw away the videos already more than they already do. So, but yeah. Building community, I think, is the most important thing, and, like, you know, getting a hold of more people and propagating a lot of that stuff, you know. If I run out of snails, just let me know. Yeah, Alyssa's got a lot of snails. Let's see. Zach says, I'm planting microsword carpet in my 20 long. I have 2 T5 high output fluorescent lights, a passive CO2 setup, and CChem fluorite substrate. Should I separate individual plants or plant clusters? I always endorse people separating and planting individual plants. 100%. 100% do that. Don't plant clumps. It's not. Yes, planting individual plants is time consuming. It is irritating. It sucks. It makes your back hurt. Being leaned over there, doing it the whole time. I know. It's not fun. It's not the funnest thing in the world to do, but I 100% recommend to go that route. It is the most successful way to be able to follow through on any kind of carpet. Any kind of carpet. Any of them. You name it, it's going to be that. Palmer Aquatics with a $5 super chat says, Joel, what is your largest struggle with the new child so far? I'm a new parent too. The largest struggle so far would be managing sleep. You know, it has so far been very difficult to manage Vicky's sleep so that she gets enough. And but we're working on it. We're working on our schedule, and we're getting to that point now where she'll be like a month old this Friday. So we're starting to get to that point where we can actually start really, dialing in on the sleep regulation type stuff. With the jaundice and stuff like that, we had to kind of just feed on demand and do all those kinds of things. And that definitely is what we had to follow up on. Susan for SLC Aquatics is here. What's up? Good to see you, Susan. Barbara Jackson says, I love premium. I canceled Dropbox and I got YouTube Premium instead. Oh, yeah, I highly recommend people to get YouTube Premium. It's kind of the jam, I think. Let's see. People are weird. I don't see the big deal. If you like a page, you should want to see them succeed, and ads help. I just hate ads because they're not directed. Like, they're not good. They're not good at telling, Like, I don't want to see, I don't know. What's a dumb ad that I've seen a lot? Like Applebee's. Like, I don't want to see an ad for Applebee's. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to Applebee's. Jackson K says, is EcoComplete always as cheap as it is right now on Amazon? Yeah, it is always around $20. It's always around there. I've noticed a lot of people. I've noticed a lot of people sharing out the EcoComplete again, because I think it dropped. I think it dropped down. Whoops! I hit S instead of E. I hate this keyboard. Yeah, see, it dropped down to $18.69. Yeah, it dropped back down again. Let me get the link for you. Copy. Paste. So yeah, I've literally done side-by-side video of EcoComplete and Fluval Stratum. It takes 2 bags of EcoComplete to match up with the Fluval Stratum. So that's the issue, the volume, So, and there are a lot of people out there that hate Fluval Stratum. There are a lot of people out there that hate EcoComplete. So, whatever, There's a lot of people out there that just, I don't know, say random things into the internet. So let's see. Here's 35 2x17 pounds for $71.99. Copy. So here's like a Stratum link off of Amazon. So that's basically, if you think about it, $71.99 for 2 of the big bags of Stratum. So it's actually versus the $18.69. Let's just call it. Let's call it 72 and call it $80, right? So 80 for the EcoComplete for 4 bags, or 72 for 2 bags of Stratum. So I think personally that's the way, and that's the way that I go. Spammer. Who's a spammer? I don't know. Either way. All right. We're coming up on the end of the show. I can feel like I got a migraine coming on, so I gotta get out of here, and I gotta go cook some food for Vicky and take care of my baby. And Vicky's got to go to a thing, so I gotta go take care of and get that all ready, and then hang out with my my little lady Olivia, my little baby lady. And big shout out to Rumbust and Palmer Aquatics for super chatters of the day. We have no new patronizers today, so that's sad. But we did have a new patronizer over the weekend, right? Saturday, Lucy, brand new patronizer. Bringing it in, Lucy. We got a brand new patronizer on Saturday. Then we processed the charges and lost about 15 more. So people with canceled credit cards and all that kind of stuff is pretty funny. But that's okay. I want to say props to everybody. Thanks to all the patronizers. Thanks to everybody coming into the chat. If I didn't read your question or answer your question or any of that stuff, just wait and post it as a comment, and I'll be able to get to it at some point in time and answer your questions and stuff like that. Also, don't forget to tune in for the Friday show. It's pretty much just answering questions off Patreon and the email and all that kind of stuff. So don't forget to feed and water your dogs and cats. Don't do any burnouts in the street. I don't know where this button is. Where's CJ Black to help me turn off the live stream? I'm going to talk to y'all later.